Interviewing tip number 67 of 101 tips for interviewing and interrogation. Stand by as we continue to cover the cycle of behavior. So tip number 67 of our 101 tips, we're going to talk about the second element of the cycle of behavior. Now remember, we talked about the process where the event has occurred, we're operating post-event, we're working backwards to understand how the subject got to this point. In our last tape, we covered the fantasy process, the conceptualization, building the idea in their mind of what, in general concept, what they want to carry out, the act they want to commit. The second part of the cycle of behavior is going to be the planning process. Now they have the idea of what they want. They begin to structure or coordinate or at least to run scenarios in their mind how they will commit the act. Now this might include how to get there, how to escape. It might include how we pick the location that we're going to make the attack on or the building. It may be involving picking the individual. It may be that it's not so much the individual, but what I expect to get out of it. How to bring to fruition, to take this obsession and start to flesh it out, to drive to compulsion, to actually act out and do it. If you listen to any interviews of guys like Jeffrey Dahmer or Ted Bundy and some of the killers and folks I've talked to, many of them spend a great deal of time thinking about and planning what they're going to do. They'll think of all the things that could go wrong, or the steps that could go right, or what they might need, or how long it would take. And now they're battling in their mind, and they're now starting to cruise over that point of not just thinking about it, but actually acting out on it. So their resistance, any qualms or morals that would hold them back are now beginning to crumble. They're now beginning to deteriorate, and the person may be telling themselves it's only going to be one time, maybe that one point. And so once you pass that point, thinking of doing it, the act becomes easier and easier to the culmination. It's going to be harder and harder, depending on the individual and the thinking process, to stop themselves from moving even forward. So the planning is going to cover maybe what the victim looked like, where they will find the victim, where's the best location, where's the best chance, where's going to be a target-rich environment where they act. And so they'll think through those things, what weapons they need to take, clothing, way to avoid cameras and identification, all that's going on in their mind. You see how now for the interviewer, that's going to be critical and explain a lot of your subject's purpose of action as they progress to that event when it's finally carried out. This event is an attempt to match what they had here in fantasy and what they believed it was going to give them in return. The planning is now setting in motion what is needed to be able to do that, to make that culmination of events, to bring about what they want to see happen in the end. Okay, so now we got 3 more pieces to do to this. I'm sure, hope you're keeping track. You're going to keep in notes for the last couple of weeks. You got 3 more weeks to work on this. Information I'm sharing with you now is very high-end stuff. We're talking about only maybe 3% of interrogators in the world know what they're doing when they do this process, when they're following this outline, and can think like the subject's thinking and see how their behavior culminates in that event. So in the meantime, please hit the share button. Don't forget social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google, Google+, Instagram. I'll reach out to you that. Be sure you catch my website. Get down on the bottom there and sign up for the Lie Guy list, because I'll notify you if classes are coming up within your area. Because you want to get in on this and let me spend some time, quality time with you as we work and develop and enhance your interviewing skills to that virtuoso, to that expert level. It takes that purposeful practice to get to do that. So in the meantime, before we get back with tip number 68, this is Stan Walters. Be safe. See you again soon.